Alright guys, here we are at our third video for Chapter 8. We're going to start talking more about inequalities now because we've been working a lot with equations. So now let's talk about inequalities. So our objectives are to use substitution to determine whether a given number is a solution of an inequality, and also to represent the solutions of an inequality on a number line. Our vocabulary, we need to know what an inequality is. That's a mathematical sentence that compares two unequal expressions. So these are going to be greater than or less than. Alright, so here I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys how this works. You do need to write down the math note. But let's go ahead and talk about this. It says a bag of tomatoes weighs more than 5 pounds. Find the possible weights of the bag of tomatoes, then represent the possible weights on a number line. So I know that the weight of the tomatoes, or W, the weight of the tomatoes is greater than 5 pounds. Alright, so now I've written an inequality for this. Now I'm going to represent the possible weights on a number line. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my number line. And since it says greater than 5, I'm going to start with 4 and just count this way. And there's a couple of solutions that make this statement of W is greater than 5 true, because W could be equal to 5 pounds 1 ounce, or W could be equal to 5.5 pounds, or W could be equal to 10, and all of those solutions would make this inequality true. So to plot this on a number line, since we know that it's more than 5, W cannot be equal to 5. Alright, because it has to be more than 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to write an empty circle up above this 5 to show that 5 is not in our set. And then we're drawing an arrow showing that everything above 5 could be part of our solution. And so that is how we would go ahead and write the inequality and show it on the number line. Please don't forget to write down that math note. Alright, so let's take a look at this one. It says, find the possible temperatures at which the medicine bottle can be stored, then represent the possible weights on a number line. So this says store below 20 degrees Celsius. So that means that my temperature, will say T, my temperature has to be less than 20 degrees. So when I plot this on a number line, I'm going to go ahead and start. I'll count by 5, so we'll go 10, 15, 20, 25. It has to be less than 20, which means it can't be at 20. Alright, T could be 19.5 degrees, or T could equal 10 degrees, as long as it's less than 20 degrees, but T could not be equal to 20 degrees because it has to be below 20. So again, we're going to leave an open circle. We're going to draw an arrow showing it has to be less than 20, and that's how we would represent that on a number line. Alright, now it's your turn to try. It says, use substitution to determine two possible numerical values for each inequality, then represent the solution set of each inequality on a number line. So now we have that 8 is less than h, or you could say that h is greater than 8. So in other words, if we had h equal to 10, that statement would be true because 8 is less than 10. Or if h were equal to 8 and 1/10, that would be true because 8 and 1/10 is greater than 8. But h could not be 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw our number line. And we're going to show that 8 is not a part of our solution, but everything greater than 8 is. Alright, the next one says P is greater than 23. So same thing. We know that P is greater than 23. So P cannot be equal to 23. It could be 23 and a half. It could be 30. So I'm going to give two possible solution sets. So P could be equal to 23 and a half, or P could be equal to 30. And then I'm going to plot that. It's got to be greater than 30. All right, and our last one says y is less than 10. So again, y could be equal to 1, because 1 is less than 10, or y could be equal to -1, because that's also less than 10. But to plot this on a number line, again, I'm going to have 10 on there to show that y is not equal to 10. And I'm going to show that it's not a part of our solution set, but everything smaller than 10 is. All right, so now we're going to talk about less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. This is kind of a little bit of a different situation. So let's read this. It says, Chloe needs at least 7 feet of ribbon for her crafts project. Find the possible lengths of ribbon that would be enough to complete the project, then represent the possible lengths on a number line. So as far as ribbon goes, she needs to have ribbon that is greater than 7 feet. But it also says it could be at least 7 feet. So she has to have greater than or equal to 7 feet, because 7 feet would get the project done. So R could be equal to 7, because as long as she has 7 feet, that's enough. But R could also be 8 feet, because that would be enough as well. Or R could be 9 feet, because that would be enough, as long as she has at least 7. So that word right there is usually an indicator that you're going to have a greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, another one is at most. So to plot this on a number line, this is a little bit different because 7 is a part of our solution set. Because again, if she has 7 feet, she has enough to get it done. So this time, when I do my circle above my 7, I'm going to fill it in to show that I could have 7 feet or more than that. So you do need to have, okay, we have less than or equal to, and you need to go ahead and write down the other symbol that means greater than or equal to, and you need to write down that math note. All right, so let's go ahead and try another one. This says, one winter day, Little Rock, Arkansas had a maximum temperature of -4 degrees Celsius. So it was at most, that maximum of -4. Find the possible temperatures in Little Rock that day, then represent the temperatures on a number line. So we know that the temperature that day was less than or equal to -4, because that was at most that it could be. So again, let's go ahead and plot this on a number line. So let's start with -4, -5. We might need to have a refresher on number lines. Now remember, it could have been -4 because that was at most. So I'm going to fill in my circle, and I'm showing it was less than or equal to 4, -4. All right, so now you guys go ahead and try. Go ahead and write these problems down, and let's find 3 possible solutions for each one and then represent those on a number line. So in number 1, I have Q is greater than or equal to 3. So in this case, Q could be equal to 3, and that would make that statement true. Q could also be equal to 4, or Q could be equal to 10. And the way that I would plot this on a number line, so I'm going to start with 3. And again, I'm filling in my circle, drawing my arrow to show everything greater than or equal to 3 could be in my solution set. So number 2 is D is less than or equal to 12. So in this case, D could be equal to 12, because that would work. D could also be equal to 11, or D could be equal to 1, as long as it's less than 12. So again, I'm going to go ahead and draw my number line. And I'm going to fill in my arrow to show that 12 is a possibility, but so is everything less than 12. So number 3, I have K is less than or equal to 25. So K could equal 25, or K could be equal to, let's say, 20, or K could be equal to 10. All of those are less than or equal to 25. So to draw this out, we'll do count by 5s. Again, filling in my circle to show that 25 could be a part of my solution set. And my arrow is pointing to everything less than that. So now number 4, I have M is greater than or equal to negative 28. So M could be equal to negative 28. But think hard about what numbers are greater than 28. M could be equal to negative 27. M could be equal to negative 20. Remember, those numbers are closer to 0 on a number line, so those numbers are greater than negative 28. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my number line out of negative 28. And then I'm going to show that 28 is a possibility, but so is everything greater than 28, negative 28. All right, class, make sure you write down any questions and make sure you have all of the notes, and I will check on those later, and I will speak with you then.